So hello everyone. Now in this video we will discuss about a very important topic that is persisting in our today's life, whose name is the Nath Sampradaya. Everyone heard about the name of a Nath Panth. Okay, so what is Nath and what are their rules, what are their history, we will discuss in this video. Means we will discuss about the Nath Sampradaya. Okay, so let's start. The Nath Sampradaya today comprises an order of renunciate aesthetics and a householder caste, both of which trace their lineages to a group of 9 Nath gurus headed by the Adinath, first Nath, who is identified with the god Shiva. Next, in most lists of 9 Naths come Matsyendra Nath, followed by the Gorakhnath, who is said to have founded the Nath order of aesthetics. The earliest references to the Nath aesthetics order as an organized entity date to the beginning of the 17th century, but its first historical gurus, Matsyendranath and Gorakhnath, lived much earlier, probably in the 9th and 12th century respectively, and during the intermediate period there are numerous references to both ascetic and householder. Nath in text inscriptions in coglogy means in iconology, graphy and historical reports. Okay, in this article, the features that characterize the Nath Sampradaya today will be summarized. For a more detailed ethnography of today's Naths, see Bobblier 2008. See also Comforters, means these are references that we can see. So here followed by an examination of their historicity. Naths today claim that their characteristics were introduced by the Gorakh we can say, Gorakh when he founded the Sampradaya, but many are of more recent origin. Aspects of Nath identity that are shared with other groups, such as the Nath aesthetics, observance of typical Hindu renouncers, vows, sadhus, will not be examined in detail. Today the aesthetic we can say the aesthetic or yeah, of course, the aesthetic branch of the Nath Sampradaya is quite distinct from that of the householders. Membership of the former is open to all and affected by the initiation from an ascetic Nath Guru. Householder Naths greatly outnumber ascetics. Here we can also see the figure that's called the Nath Sampradayas people. Also here reference figures the two statics early 19th century. On the right is a Comfortnath. Okay, British Library India Office select material self-marked address. These are references about the figure here given. Okay, so what I'm saying, I was saying, Naths greatly outnumber aesthetics. How does the householders Naths greatly outnumber aesthetics? Okay, and consist of a broad variety of the mainly endogamous castes. Means they are consist of the many castes. They see themselves as a descendants of the Nath ascetics who broke their vows of celibacy and settled down as the householders. Householders Naths are found throughout India and Nepal, with certain regions such as Karnataka, Rajasthan, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and Nepal having higher concentrations and okay having higher concentration than the others. The various householders Nath castes include a wide range of social groups from low status Muslims Bharts in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar to relatively high status Sanskritized yogis Hindu yogi and the Nath in the Rajasthan Karnataka respectively. The aesthetic Nath order is overseen by an organization called the Akhil Bharatvarshiya Avadhut Bhesh Barah Panth Yogi Mahasabha, the All India Great Assembly of the Renunciate Yogis of the 12 lineages, which was founded in the 1906 and whose headquarters are in the Haridwar. There are approximately 8 to 10,000 Nath aesthetics in the India today. Bollier 2008-15, their monasteries, which numbers about 500, are found mostly in the northern and the western India. There are also a handful of monasteries in each of the following regions of the subcontinent: Bihar, Bengal, Assam, Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Nepal, and Pakistan. Nath aesthetics may be Isthantadhari, sedentary, okay, but most are itinerant, okay. A top, we can say, a troop of Nath aesthetics that is known as the Jamaat and has a floating population of about 100 vendors continuously about India, reinforcing the collective Nath aesthetics India by attending important Nath festivals. These festivals recur in the annual and longer cycles. Navratri is spent as Jwalamukhi in the Himachal Pradesh and Kartik Purnima, we can say, full moon in October November at Pushkar in Rajasthan. During the month of the Magh, January to February, a Nath Mela is held at the Pushkar, from which the Jamaat travels to the Girnar to celebrate Shivratri. The Jamaat attends all of the 10 triennial Kumbh Melas. After the Kumbh Melas held every 12 years at Nasik, the next being in the 2016, the Jamaat spends 6 months walking to the Nath monastery, okay, at Kadri near Mangalore in Karnataka to install on Shivratri a new Raja Yogi Sibelo, who is elected at the Nasik Mela and walks with the Jamaat. The appearance and lifestyle of Nath aesthetics are very similar to those of the North Indian aesthetics. In particular, the Dasanami, Naga, Samnesis, Ramanandi Tyagis, and Udasis, Sita Sadhus, okay, we can see here Sadhus, these are celibate, they wear, okay, they wear what? They wear loin cloths and dhotis, never undergarments or trousers. They cover their bodies in ace and they often wear their hair in jat, okay, dreadlocks, although several nas keep their hair short. They live by a dhum they live by a dhuni or sacred fire, and many smoke cannabis. There are very few female aesthetic nas. The nas order is traditionally associated with the practice of yoga and tantra, certain varieties of which are said to have originated from their first gurus Mastendra and Gorach, but today few pursue either very assiduously despite their founder's reputation as its first teacher. Almost no nas practice Hatha Yoga. Okay, see yoga. We can also see the yoga's figure after this in this reference. The initiatory funeral and other important rituals of the order are tantric, with the goddess Bala, Tripura, Sundari, Sri Kashmir being the focus of the worship. But for many aesthetic nas, their daily religious observance consist of living a renunciate life and worshipping the orders, deities, and gurus in a manner consistent with a typical North Indian bhakti. The central object of worship in here the central objects of worship in several monasteries and for the itinerant Jamaat is the pater, a pot containing items emblematic of the Nathas. The Signanad, Janus, Janeus, we can say, earrings, Rudraj, malas, chilam, the clay pipe used for smoking cannabis, Bollier 2043. These were things that were carried by the Nathas. The religious life of householders Nathas also consist for the most part in the devotional practices. In particular, the communal singing of bhajan, Sikh kirtan and bhajan, as well as listening to the public performances of Nath birds, singing epic romances about the legendary Nathas, aesthetics, kings and heroes. In some regions, Nath householders function as the hereditary temple priest. For example, Nepal, Bollywood 1986. This is the example. Certain communities of the Rajasthani Nath householders engage in the secret sexual rites. Gold 2002, like their static counterparts, Nath householders are usually borrowed after death. All Nathas, whether aesthetics or householders, wear around their necks the Singnad Janeu, a long black woolen thread on which a very small horn, a rudraj seed, and a ring are strung. The horn, which is really more of a whistle, is blown during the certain rituals and before eating. Most Nathas, aesthetics, and diminishing a number of householders wear thick hooped earrings in slits cut in the cartilages, not the lobes of their ears, but because this is because of the which they are also known as the Kanfata. Means Nathas are also known as Kanfata, splittered due to splittered yogis, a somewhat derogatory name that is issued by the Nathas themselves. All Nathas hail one another with the greetings Adais. They are Sava, we can say Sava, often worshipping Shiva as a Sava, okay. Saiva we can also say, Bhairava, a form of associated with the tantric practices. Okay, means these were the things about the Nath Sampradaya. What were the done by the Nath peoples in the ancient times, we can say, in the Nath times. Now, elements of Nath identity. There are various Nath identities here given description. So we can see here the elements of Nath identities. The first is here the Nath, the name Nath. Okay, the use of the name Nath here asceti dot Natha to means can be pronounced as Natha to denote an order of the human aesthetics is relatively recent, dating to approximately the 18th century. Seed pad. Okay. Others Padvam Khavya, folio 17, recto line 1, folio 18. These are the things, some things given. Before the time, the members of the various aesthetic lineages that were to become the Nath Sampradaya were known as the yogis, as they still are in the name of the modern Nathas organization. The above mentioned Yogi Mahasabha. Householders Nathas were also known thus, and it was not until the 20th century that they began to refer to themselves as the Nathas. In a bid to elevate their status and escape the pejorative connotations of the name yogi, which had come to be associated with the low status caste and the mendicant orders Gould 1992 51. This has happened only in the Rajasthan. Elsewhere, householders Nathas are still for the most part of the known as yogis or jogis. The names of the some of the early Nathas gurus did sometimes wear the suffix Natha, but other suffix we can say other suffix are also found, including pada, pa, deva, and al, we can say. Very often the early gurus names are found without my suffix at all, any suffix at all, without any suffix at all. Meanwhile, many humans and gods will with no connection with the Nath Sampradaya has the names that bear the suffix Natha. For example, the Jana, Sands, Adinatha, Parsvanatha, and so on. The 16th century guru of the Vallabha Sampradaya, Vithal Nath Karsana as a Gopinath, the lord of the shepherd girls, and Vishnu as a Jagannath, as at Puri, see Urisha, we can say. In a modern gazetteer, a group of 5 Vaishnava Tirthas spread across India is known as the Pankanath Tirthanka. Okay, from at least the 10th century, we find groupings of semi divine Nathas, but they are not associated with the human Nath Sampradaya. Prior to the 18th century, when the word Nath is found on its own, whether in Sanskrit or as a regional language, it simply means Lord and is usually used to address a god or an important person. Many commentators and scholars have seized upon instances of a word or suffix Nath as indicative of the existence of a Nath Sampradaya, but until the 18th century, the word was not used as such. The hybrid Hindi Sanskrit term Nath Siddha, which is commonly used in the secondary literature to denote members of aesthetics Nath Sampradaya throughout the ages, is not found in the pre modern literature. Okay. It might be supposed that the forerunners of the Nath were denoted by the name Yogi, but this term is also ambiguous as it has been used at least until the modern period to denote yoga practicing statings belonging to a wide range of the orders, in particular those of the Dasnami, Samnasis, Ramanandis. In the absence of nomenclature as a definitive criterion for identifying Nathas, and in the light of there being no evidence of an organized pan-Indian order of the Nath prior to the beginning of 17th century, in order to analyze the history of the Nath Sampradaya during its formative period, the history of the various elements that constitute Nath identity today will now be examined in turn. At the risk of the historical inaccuracy, for the sake of convenience, the forerunners of the members of what is now known as Nath Sampradaya are herein usually referred to as a Natha. Means this is the name Natha Pura all introduction. So next, the nine Nathas. Who are the nine Nathas? And here we are introducing the nine Nathas. While there are some relatively early 10th century description of groupings of Nathas. See below. The tradition of nine Nathas, to which today's Nath Sampradaya traces its origins. What we are saying here, the Natha Sampradayas, the nine Nathas today taking places from where groupings of Nathas, the tradition of nine Nathas to which today Nath Sampradaya traces its origins, has more name in common with those found in early lists of Siddhas than in early list of Nathas. The Siddhas were semi-divine humans who had become perfected Siddha as a result of their mastery in yoga, mastery of yoga, alchemy, rasayan and other esoteric means. They were renowned for their magical power siddhis and often their antinomian behavior. All these features are attributed to the various nine Nathas associated with the Nath Sampradaya. Early list of Siddhas, which usually name or purport to name 84, such as those found in the 13th century Tibetan account, ascribed to Abhyadastari, the early 14th century Mathili, Varantam, we can say Varnan Ratnakar and the 15th century Sanskrit Hath Pradipika include the Adinatha, Matsyendra, Gurach, Kauranji, Jalandhar, Karpata, Kanhapa, Bhartarahari, all of whom appear in the Soma or all of the latter list of the nine Nathas. The popularity of Siddhas transcended sectarian boundaries, and the Siddhas themselves appear from their legends not to have claimed allegiance to any particular sects because of the appearance of the names of the Siddhas associated with the Nath tradition in the Buddhist list of the Siddhas, such as that of the Abhyadastari. Some scholars have postulated Buddhist origins for the Nathas. There is nothing in the doctrines or associated with the Nathas tradition to support this. So, first in the most of the list of the nine Nathas is the Adinatha, first Nath, who is identified with the Shiva. While the Nath tradition is and always has been predominantly Saiva, recent centuries have seen an increased emphasis on the aspects of their identity. Nathas depicted in the medieval miniatures do not sport the archetypically Saiva Rudraksha seed necklaces and tripundra as forehead markings that are commonplace today. Gorashnath nowadays is often identified with the Shiva supplementing Adinatha. A popular Hindi Nath mantra is Om Shiva Goraka. There is a great deal of variety in the number and the names of the members of many lists of the Nathas after Adinatha. See example here: Dwivedi 1996 25 to 27, White 1996 90 to 95. Early taxonomies of Nathas found in the text of Tantric traditions associated with the forerunners of the Natha Sampradaya do not agree on their number. Those of the Kumjika cult, see Kashmir Bharva, talk of 25 Sandarshan, others works of the Paschimanya, the Western transmission of the Kaula Tantra, and those of the Trika see Tantra and the Kali cults have list from the 4 Sandarshan 1988 688. The Sahasra Samhita describes 18 Scotsmen, and the 30th century Matsendra Samhita mentions a group of 7. See also 2019 36 to 38 reference. None of these lists includes the Goracha or Shiva. Among his Nath, only those of the Trika and the Kalikas or the latter Sambhava variant of the Savas on the latter are 2019-40. We can see reference include Moshendra. The first list of the Nath to include Gorach is in an inscription from near the Kaleswara temple at the Kukunurur in Karnataka, dated to 1279, Lewis writes, this list, which includes the names of the 8 or the possibly 9 Nathas, does not mention Masendra but does include Adinatha. The list takes to give a list of 9 Nathas that correspond that with those letters associated with the Nath Sampradaya is the Telugu Nanvanthara Katvitra deeds of the 9 Nathas, which dates to the late 15th century. Rao Sulbhan and Subramaniam 1992-125. This text 9 Nathas include Shiva Meena, that is Matsendra, Gorach, Saragandhar, Koranji and the Nagarjun. The 9 Nathas are not mentioned in any of the Sanskrit texts on the Hatha Yoga associated with the Nath. In fact, no Sanskrit texts include list of the 9 Nathas associated with the Nath Sampradaya prior to the approximately 18th century Gurasiddha Sangmagra, which cites a list from the Antamagram Nava, a work of doubtful antiquity, doubt compounded, okay, by its inclusion of the Datra in its list of the Nathas. Datra has only ever been associated with the Nath Sampradaya in the Deccan region, and the formalization of that association dates to approximately the 18th century, when texts such as the Marathi Navanatha Bhakti Sar symbolically united the Nath Sampradaya with the Mahanubhava sect by identifying 9 Nathas, which here with 9 Narayanas, we can say. The 9 Nathas are not mentioned in the approximately 17th century Hindi works ascribed to the Gorakhnath, but there are references to them in the approximately 1600 CE Guru Granth Sahib. Approximately 18th century Siddhant Patal, a ritual handbook ascribed to Ramananda C. Prasad, and the Gorakh Upanishad, whose date is uncertain but is also likely to date to the 18th century, as a corollary of the attempts to organize various disparate groups of the yogis under the tutor leg of the Gurach. Many list of the 9 Nathas from the 18th century and the later do not include the Gurachnath. Gurach is the godhead. He is the referred to as the Srinath and identified with the Anadi Anand Purus, the Anadi Anand Purus, we can say, the eternal person, Divedi, and the 9 Nathas are said to his avatars. Several Sanskrit and the Hindi hagiographical works treating the deeds of the 9 Nathas were composed in Jodhpur in the early 19th century. Today, hagiographies of the 9 Nathas are widely available in a variety of the vernacular. Varieties of the vernacular. Vernacular means, we can say, as a versatile very nature, treating the arriving of the vernacular. C. Nath identified Anadi Anand Purus, eternal avatars. Several Sanskrit and the Hindi hagiographical works stating the deeds of the 9 Nathas were composed in Jodhpur in the early 19th century. Today, hagiographies of 9 Nathas are widely available in a variety of vernacular languages here. So these were the some very important points about the Nath Sampradaya that you should know, means as a very first impression of the Nath Sampradaya that we kept on in mind, so we should know about this. Next, then other topics, the individual nathas. About every individual nathas here are given. I will attach the PDF of this, okay, in our description. You can see and download from there. Also you can find it from the Google, okay. Individual nathas, Matsyen Nath, then all the names that we had seen, all others, the nathas here are given a very detailed topic from where they were, means how many punches are there and what are their appearance, everything here are given. You can find it from here. So Natha Sampradaya, here is it is clear now what is the Nath Sampradaya to you and how it caused to spread, how they were come into popularity, okay, and the first Nath that were known who was, okay. So these are all the things that are described in this video. If you will like this video, then please subscribe to our channel and also share this video to the others so that they can also find it helpful for them as a knowledgeful video. So thank you, we will meet in our next video.